Hi Internet, welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel here with another rocker reaction. So this is actually, I think, going to be a very interesting reaction. So what we're reacting to today is the Iamus computer Adsum for orchestra. So basically, this is a performance of a piece called Adsum, which is the first orchestral work performed in a live concert entirely composed, orchestrated, and automatically notated by a machine. So basically, this is an orchestral composition written by a computer, by a robot. The robots are making art. I have not heard this before, and so I thought this would be a really great first-time reaction to hearing something written and composed by a computer to see, can a computer, create something with soul, with heart, with passion? Can they create a compelling orchestral work? As someone who has done, I used to be in an orchestra, and I've done some orchestral composition. I'm definitely interested to see what this sounds like and judging it from that perspective. Oh, this is a 13-minute track, so yeah, let's just get right into it and see how much heart and soul this computer has. Performed by a live orchestra of humans, mind you. By the Malaga Philharmonic Orchestra. So this is from 2013. Yep, definitely interested to see where this goes. All right, so we're like 3.5 minutes into this. So what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of dissonance going on with the music, but it's obviously intentional dissonance, and so it's just on the verge of clashing, but it's more just there to create a rise in tension. And so this seems to be a little bit more on the avant-garde side of orchestral composition, but still definitely like within the realms of something that how would I put this? Like that someone it's not necessarily conventionally melodic, but this is fits in very well within a certain trend and subset of orchestral music very well. And so, thus far, it's been more atmospheric, and I'm curious to see if there is going to be a strong melodic motif that ties the piece together, or if it just continues in this more ambient context. And so, there's a part of me that has mixed feelings on this as a composer, in that I don't find it to be as impressive that it's able to create more of an ambient soundscape with sort of rise in tension, and would find it more impressive if there was a strong melodic core to this piece. But what it's still doing is technically within the realms of what a human composer would set out to do, and it is doing that well. But I wonder if part of the program is that it was set to compose something in this particular style as opposed to something more conventionally melodic, which I feel is actually more difficult to do and to maintain that interest throughout the piece as it moves through different sections. So, definitely very interesting so far. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Hmm. Yeah, so it's really not repeating motifs much at all, and it just seems to be moving from section to section, and each section is musically competent and is building like a sense of tension throughout the entire piece. But I have really like such mixed feelings on this because it's hard for me to really grasp what the full capabilities are, you know, as a machine composing, in the sense that it is able to make something that makes technical coherent sense throughout the entire piece from moving to section, but doesn't make sense as like a big picture finished product. And so I think it might be able to compose a bunch of sections in an order that does lead to the next logical step, but is it able to grasp like a big picture in terms of like making the entire piece have a distinct identity? I'm not sure if that's necessarily the case with this. So, and also doesn't seem to be, indicating strong melodies, which once again might not be the intent. But I am sort of recognizing both the technical brilliance of what it is able to accomplish, because there is some complex theory being calculated within the piece, but also much in the same way that like a prog band is more concerned with like the individual sections of a song than the entirety of the piece. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this. So basically, this computer is just a prog musician. Yeah, this thing is in desperate need of a dynamic shift. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit rough. I think it's I have such mixed feelings on it. It's one of the things where like there's a certain subset of orchestral fans would think that this is genius, and then there's the subset who just like you're just creating like a noisy soundscape and not actually really building to anything. And so, in some ways, this is a technical marvel. No, it definitely is a technical marvel of like, how far artificial intelligence has gone where it's able to write and compose this entire thing for an entire orchestra and have it make musical sense. But I don't know if this is necessarily good, at least by the standards and metrics of what I enjoy. So, yeah, let's get back to it. So I'm getting like faint whispers of a beautiful melody there, but also it really does love those like those piercing strings and menacing cellos. So it's always giving you this sense of discomfort throughout the entire piece, which once again is a legitimate compositional way to approach a piece like this. My issue with it is that I'm so torn on this because this like fits into a style of composition where they're like, nah, man, we're not going to really do dynamics. We're just going to make it creepy for 13 minutes. So I I get what it's going for, and I guess it is doing that well, but I'm still not sure. Once again, it's given me a very limited perspective on the actual capabilities of this computer as a composer. Hmm. All right, yeah. So I definitely have some mixed feelings on this one, in that there are a number of like human composers who, write orchestral music, struggle their entire lives to have their stuff played by an orchestra and never have that dream come true. And here is an emotionless computer programmed to write a piece, and this creature gets its songs performed by humans. And ironically, as as society advances and technology advances, there's the concern about the robots taking over, and in some ways, this feels like a scary precursor, like human beings, playing a piece of music made by a computer, not knowing that the robots might be soon enslaving them. And so, in some ways, the piece is a little bit frightening. If one see, there's very much obviously potential downsides to artificial intelligence and automation, and what the future holds for our society in that context. So it's definitely interesting, and it's going to be much more fascinating to see how this piece is looked back on historically. Maybe it's been almost 10 years since this, so maybe 20, 30 years as our technology advances. Will this, how will people look back on this, if they even remember it all? Will this be remembered as like the first time the humans bowed to the machines, a precursor to where things are headed? I'm looking at this and I'm feeling very dark and cynical about it as I'm looking at it. It's hard to not be a little bit depressed about this piece. There's a part that's really exciting for the prospects of technology, but as robots create art, there's a potential that a robot can create a better work of art than a human could. And even if you can mathematically figure out what is appealing in an artistic piece, it's possible that a machine can figure that out and do it better than a human. So but at this point, still not as awesome as like freaking Thin Lizzy's Chinatown behind me, which has heart and soul and passion and humanity. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of mixed feelings on this piece. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments below. Let me know if you're afraid of the robots, uprising and taking over humanity. Do the liking, the commenting, the subscribing, all those good things, and have a good one. Bye, everyone.